Hi, this is Charlotte for GamerCast.net. Apologies again, as usual, for the delay in my video. In all fairness, it's only been a couple of months, so it's not that long. I am currently working down in Brighton, which means that I'm unable to, one, record videos like this, and two, upload videos like this, because unfortunately the internet that I have down there is atrocious. However, I've still been picking things up, so I've got quite a bit to show you, some extremely cool stuff that I've gotten down in Brighton. However, unfortunately, a few awesome things are missing here as well, but I'll try and get this done as quickly as possible because my camera is probably dying and I know you guys don't like videos that are too long. So, back in February I think it was, I popped to the local British Heart Foundation. We've got a really good one where we live, which is like a furniture shop. So occasionally they get electronics in, including consoles as well. So I picked up, I couldn't say no to this, but for a particular reason. So this is just your standard, I think, what is it, a 5502. The box is in pretty good nick. Unfortunately, inside, there's actually no packaging. So it is just the console chilling out. But I don't have one of these particular boxes, so I thought, well, I'll get it for the hell of it. So this was £15. With it, I'll show you. With it, that was the console, which is indeed the right model number. What kind of? Got a standard PlayStation controller. What looks like one of the proper power cables, and an AV. It's nice, you usually get RFs. That wasn't all though. Also got a lovely G-Con along with the AV adapter for it, which was cool. Not that I can use it on my stupid TV. However, the reason I actually bought this PlayStation was for a controller. So I've been looking for one of these for ages. I haven't ever, well, as far as I know, I've never seen one before. And because I'm really into the PlayStation, I had to buy this just for this controller. And in all fairness, it's actually worth it for £15 for this controller. So this is the analog controller. Now this was the version that was released before the DualShock controller. It pretty much works exactly the same, apart from the fact that there's actually no rumble functionality in it. What it makes it different, and in fact I actually really love, is that the analog sticks are inset. So it means that your thumbs kind of sit quite nicely in there. However, believe it or not, do I have an analog? DualShock? I have DualShock down here. You'd think that otherwise it's pretty much exactly the same. However, when you actually compare it with a standard DualShock controller, you can see that the arms, the legs, are actually a fair bit longer. There's also a very slight difference as well with the shoulder pads. I don't know if you can see, but the shoulder pads on the analog controller are ridged. And I quite like that, to be fair. I think there was another couple of little very slight differences. For instance, it's kind of difficult to see, but the analog sticks are actually further apart on the older style controller than the newer style. Also, which if you ask me is a complete benefit, is because these were inset, they're also not rubbery, they're actually plastic, which means that if you ever do come across one of these, there's no chance that it's going to be bitten off or wearing away, unlike this controller here, which you probably can't see, but that's not straight at all, it's actually coming off. I really hate the rubbery consistency of these analog controllers, and I've been looking around for one of these for ages, and they're pretty rare to get a hold of these days, so I had to buy that PlayStation for it, basically, which I was okay with. As well as the PlayStation, they'd gotten a load of games in. I only picked up a couple. I picked up a couple more than this, however, it was like a couple of Resident Evils, and I bought them to trade, and I traded them very recently at a retro shop that I'll get to in a second. However, so none of these are particularly special, but they're ones that kind of I've wanted for a while, but found out didn't actually own. And one of these, which I really wanted when I was a kid, I can't remember, it was on one of the fronts of like the PlayStation magazines. That's Ninja Shadow of Darkness. And I played it, and it's terrible. Perhaps, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys like it, but it's terrible, I thought. These were all £1 each, which wasn't too bad. They've all got instructions and manuals. Well, that's the same thing. So I think some of them actually well, this one's a bit broken, but yeah, for instance, this got the registration card. So they were kept in quite good condition from the person who ever gave them to the charity shop. Another one, got both the games already, but this is a double pack. And they paid $19.99 for it, as well as Ninja. And that's the Medal of Honor Underground and Medal of Honor double pack. I absolutely loved Medal of Honor when I was a kid. And this, unlike the James Bond one that I picked up recently, actually has both games and the manual for the two. So that was cool. And for £1, not bad. Another one that I've been looking for a while, but whenever people have it, they always want far too much for it. That's Gunfighter: The Legend of Jesse James. I am a massive fan of light gun games, despite not having a CRT TV to play them on. This is just one that I've wanted for quite some time. And again, that came with loads of stuff inside. Because whenever people are selling this, they always want at least £2.50. And I'm sorry, but I'm really cheap. And it's a light gun game, so it's not going to be fantastic. So, but for £1, I was like, yes, please. And then the other one, which I could have sworn that we had, but I think we have Second Defense, and that's Vigilante 8, which is of course a classic game. We were playing this when we got it, because we thought, well, let's play all the games, give them a go. It also came with a memory card, which is awesome. The memory card didn't have any good saves in it though. Also, as well, got a copy of Jumping Flash, which is a fantastic game. However, we were there with a friend, and he'd wanted the game forever, so bought that for him and gave it to him. So that was cool, although I think he did pay me back, so technically I didn't give it to him. But that was those. There's no real chronological order, because I'm kind of confused to, like, the last couple of months, they kind of have flown by. So a few other pickups. Oops. One that we've owned for ages, actually. I remember picking it up in a Cash Converters or a Cash Concepts, one of those in Malden, right by the, is it an Asda or a Sainsbury's? There used to be one there. We went there late one night when our parents were shopping and picked up a copy of this. However, it didn't have the outside, so I picked this up to basically get the outside. It was only 50p. Which is cool, and Bloody Roar is, you know, it's quite a fun fighter. I'm not a big fan of fighters, but Bloody Roar is one that's just sort of disappeared, I guess. So that was nice to see, for £1. What we got here? Some other random pickups. Got this in CEX recently. There's a copy of Sub Rebellion. I've not seen this before. This is apparently an IREM game, which I was quite pleased to see. So it should stand to be a good shooter. However, it's a nuclear attack sub game. And it looks kind of third person, which is a bit weird for IREM, but that was 75p. So I was like, well, when you see a game that's you've never seen before, and it doesn't look too bad, get it. Or at least that's my my theory, although the case is broken. So that was 75p. Another just random pickup, probably have a copy of this already. I kind of lose track of which Resident Evils I have and which I don't, because I think I've got the tin one, or maybe I don't have the tin one. But recently, it's not a Cash Converters, it's some kind of money loaning place. They had 50% off on all their games, and that included their PS2 games, which were £1, so that was 50p for Resident Evil 4. Which is a good Resident Evil. I wouldn't say it's the best Resident Evil, but that's because I have my nostalgic loving of Resident Evil 2. Another one, went into the local kart club in Aldershot and picked up a copy of Aqua Weetrix 2.0, which is pretty cool. You don't see this very often, even though it's like it's quite a common game. Weetrix, of course, was on the N64, or Wetrix, I guess, if you want to call it that. Pretty cool puzzle game, very different. and very colourful as well, so that was cool to get that for £1. It was also quite a long time ago. It was Valentine's Day. Tim knows that I love particularly cheesy games, so he bought me 2 that I had been looking for quite some time after falling in love with Mary-Kate and Ashley Crush Course. So he picked me up Mary-Kate and Ashley Magical Mystery Mall. Now this is a terrible game, but fantastic at the same time. I still quote it after playing it on Valentine's Day evening. It has some awful, awful lines that will get stuck in your head for the rest of your life. It's pretty funny. And the way I see it is, don't knock games until you've tried them. This also allows you to choreograph music to your own CD, which is pretty cool, like Vibrabin, I guess, but with Mary-Kate and Ashley. And then another one that he picked me up as well was Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 License to Drive. Now, I really like this game on the Game Boy Advance, so Tim got me this. And then it turns out that this is a completely different game. It's actually a board game that is ridiculously hard, and no idea how a small, you know, like a young girl is or a real girl is supposed to play this. But it was pretty entertaining as well. Some very awesome quotes that you won't forget for a very long time. Went to a car boot the other day, a couple weekends ago, and picked up a couple of PlayStation games for 50p each. Again, nothing fantastic, but for 50p I thought, well, I'll give them a go. So that's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, A Twitch in Time. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and she was pretty awesome. So it'll be interesting to see what a game turns out to be like. I have one of them on the Game Boy, and it was bloody awful. So I've got high hopes for this one, perhaps. I also picked up a registered users demo 03. I picked some of these up recently, and they were so scratched that they didn't work. So I haven't actually tried this one yet. So maybe it'll work, maybe not. That was just loose on like a table, so who knows. With that, Sabrina, I also picked up a copy of Men in Black, the series Crashdown. I've been told that this is absolutely terrible. However, again, give it a go. I'm a big fan of terrible games, so maybe I'll actually find it pretty entertaining. And again, 50p, so... I've worked a variety of places. One of those was Middlesbrough, if any of you remember my videos from about a year, 2 years ago. While I was up there, it's kind of difficult for people to not find out that I'm addicted to collecting retro games. So one person that I think or hope that I made an impression on was the boss of one of the companies that I worked at. And he was very recently in Japan for meetings with developers over there. And very, 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 very kindly picked up me a copy of Final Fantasy on the PlayStation. Now, not only is this on the best console ever, the PlayStation, but this is actually one of my favourite Final Fantasies as well, and he didn't know that. But, yeah, that was pretty awesome, and he said, oh, I've got a present for you, and he said, give me your address and I'll post it to you, and it was Final Fantasy, and it was like, oh my god, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. So that's really cool. I haven't actually managed to play this yet. I wanted to play a bunch of my import games very recently, and of course I only get to come home at the weekend, so I don't get much time, but that was fantastic, and thank you very much, Lee. Went home very recently for my niece's birthday, and picked up a couple of, oh no, that one, this one is actually a Brighton pickup, so I'll leave that to the one side. Picked up a copy of B-Movie on the PlayStation in a CX, because apparently they can take retro stuff and sell it, but it's to the manager's discretion, basically. I thought I had a copy of this, however, turns out that we don't. So I thought, well, £2 is not too bad, and I've got a bunch of credit on a CX note, so it was free, and I bought a memory card with it that could stay at home for when I go home and like pick up a game and want to play it, kind of thing. So that's not too bad for free, I guess. Again, I've mentioned this before, I do a lot of Facebook groups now, so there's a lot of trading that goes on, or buying. One thing that I love, as everyone knows, is the Atari 2600. A guy on there was selling a whole load of games. I can't remember how many it was he was selling in the end, and he was like, oh, well, they're all going to be this much money, you get a joystick as well. and I messaged him and I was like, oh, I'm really interested in these ones. Could you send me pictures of the cards so I can see what the labels are like? And he was like, oh, well, if you only want those ones, then you can just have those ones. So I think I paid him like £16 or something like that in the end. There's some amazing games here as well. So there's Dark Chambers. That I wasn't too fussed on. I was a bit confused by it as well when I was playing. But the colours in it were ridiculous. So, Dark Chamber. Battle Zone. Now, I bought this thinking it was a different game, but it turned out to not. It's basically a poor man's robot tank. So that's Battle Zone. This one was amazing, and that's Imagic's Firefighter. Now, I have a few of the other Imagic games, and they're actually really amazing, and it turns out so is Firefighter. The music was great, the controls were very interesting, and it was a pretty addictive game. I just kind of kept playing it for quite some time. So it's Firefighter. Now I'm getting to the weirder ones, which I'm hoping to do some videos on. So there's a couple of Spectrovision here, and there's also a Telesis. So these three were basically, you'd not get these over here at all. They will have only come out in America. So, or at least to my knowledge, I've never seen cards that aren't Activision, Atari, stuff like that over here. So the first one is Tapeworm. There's basically Snake with a few things that will hurt you if you walk into them. Not too bad. The colours were a bit pants, but it's a game that I don't have. Now this one is amazing. That's China Syndrome. Also another Spectrovision game. I've never heard of this before, or the term China Syndrome. I've never seen the film. China Syndrome is the idea that a nuclear meltdown would be so great that it goes all the way down to China, in the sense of you'll dig all your way to China sort of thing. The game itself is actually pretty addictive, and the gameplay, whilst it doesn't look like you're doing what you're doing, it's pretty good and a very unique concept. So that's actually a really good one, and I like that. The last one I was pretty chuffed to get, because it's pretty rare, and that's Demolition Herbie. Now this is basically Amidar, so you're racing along lines just to build up the squares. Once you finish all the squares, you win the race. It's a pretty fun game as well. The cart's in a bit of a bad state, but I don't really care about that. So. And I think, yeah, those were £16, and that was delivered as well, so that wasn't too bad. What next? Little quick pickup in Brighton. That was a copy of Sesame Street Elmo's Number Journey, because I love Sesame Street and I love silly games. So that was £1. And that was from Replay Games. It's down Western Road. They have a variety of retro stuff, although it's all been moved to the back recently, which is a bit of a shame. This used to be £2 as well, so I got it a bit cheaper. Went to a car boot sale in Brighton a couple of weekends ago, and bought a couple of things. Oh, in fact, this one was from the car boot sale with Sabrina. It was a bit weird, but I kind of bought it anyway. It's a Tomb Raider watch, or Action Raider, as it says on the straps. It was 50p. So at this car boot sale in Brighton, I picked up a copy of Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja. This is a game that we've never personally owned, so I figured I'd get it, because while the kid was a reseller, I thought his price wasn't too bad. It was about kind of eBay price, and it was there. And then I also got with that a copy of Battletoads in Ragnarok's World. So I got the two of those for a £5, which I didn't think was too bad. At the same car boot sale, I picked up another amazing thing. However, unfortunately, that's still in Brighton because I've yet to test it. However, I also got a Game Boy Advance with a few games, some pretty good games as well. A copy of Yoshi's Island 3. Well, Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3, which is a great one, with Baby Mario. This I've been playing on my Game Boy non-stop, basically. That's Dr. Mario. Brilliant game, no matter what people say. A copy of Donkey Kong Land 2, which is, again, I'm not as big a fan as it as Donkey Kong Land 1, but it's still a half-decent platformer. Also got, I think it was Atlantis, a Madagascar game, and the Madagascar Penguin game. The Game Boy Advance is still in Brighton because I've been playing with it there. It's just the see-through kind of white Game Boy Advance. Didn't have a battery cover, unfortunately, though. That evening, when I came back, I was picking up a couple of games from someone on Facebook again. So these were £2 each, and that's Tetris Blast and Tesserae. It's a crazy puzzle game. I have no idea. I tried playing it. I was like, I really don't know what's going on. So I think I need to read the manual for that. Some pickups from this weekend just gone. Myself and Catherine went to EGX Resd in Birmingham. And knowing that there was a retro shop there, I decided that we had to go, even though it was 47 minutes each way. From there, like I said, I traded in a few games that I picked up recently, and picked up a couple otherwise. Catherine got a couple as well. These were the two I got. She got some other things. She might show those in a pickups video. One of those is Ninja Hattori-kun. Now this looks super cute, and that's for the Famicom. So I'm looking forward to playing that because it's a platformer. Because my rules are, if you're getting it on the Super Famicom or the Famicom, it has to be a platformer, or you're not going to understand it, really. So, that looked pretty cute. The other game I got, which I already actually have, and that's Super Fire Pro Wrestling 3. I bought this recently from PlayNation Games in Croydon. However, they had a box copy with instructions, so I'll have the cart to get rid of now. But yeah, I had to buy that. This is the game that Suda51 worked on before he was like kind of a cult figure. Made the game infamous because your character commits suicide, and at the time that was basically unheard of in games. So they were quite pricey markups, but the trade that I gave, I maybe spent about £5 on, and we got, I think, what was marked up at about £40. So it didn't work out too bad for me. Then with that as well, I got a copy of Boulder Dash on the Game Boy. Boulder Dash is a fantastic concept, works all the time, and I figured this is Japanese. I figured a Japanese copy would make no difference, so that was cool. Then on the Sunday, I went to the local car boot sale. Oh no. Picked up another couple things. Nothing special. These were 50p each. Everything was 50p each. So I got Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I see this all the time and I never buy it. I thought, well, I might as well just do it. Get it over with, and maybe it'll never appear again. A copy of the Halo 2 Volume 1 soundtrack. That was pretty cool for 50p. Copy of Crash Bash, but it's in Dragon Ball Final Bouts box. And a copy of Extreme Ghostbusters The Ultimate Invasion. I was told this was pretty cool. However, it's a light gun game, so I can't even try it out. But again, 50p. Then two pretty cool little bits. Super Mario DS, well, Super Mario 64 DS for a cart for 50p. I had to say yes. I had to get that. And then one which I'm totally looking forward to, and I may even do a video on it, and that's a memory card. Now this was off a woman. All she had was this. Well, she didn't just have this memory card, but gaming wise, all she had was the memory card, and it was 50p. And it's like, okay, well, I have to buy that just to find out what's on it. So I may do a video showing what's on it. It's going to be a short video, but maybe I'll just put it on my channel, not the Gamercast channel. A couple things that I've missed out of there. One of these was picked up in Brighton in a charity shop, very strange indeed, and that is a box of the Tomb Raider card game, like collectible card game, although it is a trading card game as well. That has all of the boosters in there. I'm not quite sure why they had this, or why someone would still have it, and I don't know. It was a £5, and I was like, you know what, there's so many boosters in here that I have to get it. There's actually more boosters than there should be in here, so technically I can open some as well, without like making it incomplete. Me and Tim already have some of the quest decks, which were the decks that you could buy for the card game, but we've not played it yet. I think we've got 4 of the decks, although 2 of them are sealed and 2 of them are unsealed. So it might be a bit interesting to play, because we are into card games and board games, things like that. So who knows, maybe Tomb Raider had a good one, although the fact that it doesn't exist anymore probably means that it wasn't that good. Something else I picked up while I was back home when I picked up B-Movie. Unfortunately this is only the case because some bastard went and took the disc out. The lady said when she put these out she'd checked them to make sure they all had the games in, and someone had taken the game out of here. And what sucks is after reading the back of the game, reading stuff on Wikipedia, I was so psyched for playing this game. I hate whoever took the disc. That's a copy of Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman. Now, I had never heard of this before, and it sounds amazing. Apparently, some of the mechanics aren't very good, and the controls are a bit clunky, but there's, like, apparently a theme song, your ratings are, like, super ultra sexy hero, and it's just, like, that just sounds like it's got all the cheese that I would want in a game. So now I'm looking for a goddamn disc of it. It's not even a rare game. It was supposed to be £3, and that's about as much as it goes for on eBay, I think. So now I need a copy of the game. A couple of items I've gotten in the post, because unfortunately my TurboGrafx doesn't get much love with only a copy of Alien Crush. So I picked up a copy of the fantastic Raiden. I have yet to play it. However, it has the manual and the game's in the little case, which is all kind of cool. But I figured, well, if I want to get a game, get a good one. So I got Raiden. That was quite expensive as well. I think it cost me about £30. And then on the other extreme, if you want to get a game, get a bad one. This was under a £5, so I kind of had to get it because it's still in the box, which is really nice because you don't see them very often still in the cardboard boxes. It's Gunboat. This is like a boat simulation in the Vietnam War or something like that. Is it the Vietnam War? I have no idea. Yes, I think so. Yeah, sometimes I'm a sucker for getting something cheap, and I figured that a £5 wasn't too bad, so I had to get it. No idea if it's any good yet. I still haven't pulled out the TurboGrafx to play it on, but that was under a £5, so it wasn't too bad. Now, save for last is one awesome pickup. This I picked up from in Brighton at one of the flea markets called Snooper's Paradise. Now, the guy was selling these, and I think he has absolutely no idea what they are. However, looking at them, I was like, yes, I know what they are, and I need them. So, you may not have seen them before. However, these are peripherals for the 10 million PlayStation promotion, if you will. So, these, I don't even know how you got these. They've got one of each on Defcon Soft. I think a couple of the two have sold on eBay recently as well, but for far much more than I paid for these. These are in actually pretty good condition. Unfortunately, the box wears pretty easily, but it just flaps open like this. For some reason, it's a silver memory card, not a black memory card or a midnight blue memory card, so that's a bit weird. And then there's actually instructions and stickers behind there. Now, the memory card, I think, was £8? No. The memory card was £12. No. Maybe 12? The memory card was £12 and the controller was £8. However, the controller is pretty damn sexy. Again, it's basically never been touched. You've got the manual and the controller. I've still not taken it out. It's a midnight blue colour to match the console that was released at the same time. These were released for the celebration of the 10 millionth console that was made because the PlayStation was so awesome. And the fact that this guy was selling these for so cheap, just kind of, you know, it makes you wonder when people don't actually research what they're selling. I don't care about them for the value, I care about them for, like, what they are and what they represent. I would love to get a 10 million PlayStation, however I don't see it happening anytime soon. So I was just super happy to get these. I mean, even the controller connection is midnight blue. But I can't really take it out of the box. I don't know, well, out the bag. I can take it out, actually. Looks like it's not been taken out before, though. So, yeah, those were super awesome. They were just over £20 for the two, so I probably got some numbers wrong there. But they were just over £20. And, yes, most definitely worth a purchase. I just feel bad for the guy because he didn't know, like, how much they were worth. One of the memory cards, I think, sold very recently for £30 or £60. One of the two. So you can get an idea. There wasn't many in circulation. So that was my pickups recently. I have one more thing to quickly say, and hopefully I'll do some videos of this. I very recently picked up a Easy Cap video capture. This is just a USB kind of interface that you plug into your consoles. I've tested it already. There's a video on my channel that I tested it with a few SNES games. And I really look forward to doing this. I know some people have asked about Let's Play videos in the past, and I really want to do some because I do love playing games, and I think that some of the games that I play I want more people to see. So hopefully that will be my avenue. As you can see, my lovely arcade machine is showing off the fantastic Sengoku, one of my favourite games on the Neo Geo, mainly because of the music and the game itself. It's kind of like East meets West, or West meets East. You're a couple of cowboys. Oh, he's just changed into the bloody ninja. But he's like a pink cowboy. Yeah. And you both change into ninjas and defeat samurais. I just love the music on it. It's one of the very few games that I own on the AES, and one of my favourites. Unfortunately, this cart that I've got in only has Sengoku 1 and Sengoku 3, so I have never played Sengoku 2, unfortunately. However, Sengoku is one of my favourites. Yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully another couple videos very shortly. Yeah. Happy hunting, guys. I'll see you soon.